Hey guys, it's Alex and Kip. Today we're going to check out some tumbled rocks. Okay, so we're going to head out to the garage right now and we are going to rinse off the second batch of rocks that I have ever tumbled. So they're over here. This is the rock cave, by the way, for those of you wondering. So here's my Lortone tumbler. I've got a 3A. These rocks have been in there now for approximately 4 weeks, maybe a teeny bit more. And they just finished the last polishing stage. So we're gonna go over here and take a look at them, see how they turned out. All right, there it is. I find this to be sort of a satisfying moment. All those little pellets in there are ceramic pellets that keep the rocks from crashing into each other while they're inside the barrel. So let's straighten these guys out, spray them off, see what they look like. This is that satisfying part I was talking about. All right, so I just want to start by saying this is a super highly requested video. I've had so many of you guys now mention how much you want to see some of these tumbled rocks. So I thought I'd start off just by showing some of my favorite rocks that I've tumbled. You know, I haven't tumbled a lot. I've only got about 4 batches total that I've done. And 2 of those I actually didn't do. A local rock shop here in Billings did that. So we're just gonna take a look first here at some of the ones that I keep out on display in my house. So I have this cool wooden bowl that I got from a friend who makes these up in the mountains. And it just likes to sit out kind of in a main place in the house. And let's take a look at some of these rocks. So the first one that it makes the most sense to look at here is this agate. This is the first agate that I ever found when I was rockhounding. And actually, ironically, when I found it, I didn't even know that it was an agate. So it just shows how far I've come now. I've found quite a few agates since this, but kind of always holds a special little place in my heart. Here is maybe one of my favorite pieces of petrified wood that I've ever found. You can see it has this really beautiful, like, check out that banding. There's some agate banding in there that's just stunning. I love this one, and I found this fairly early on as well, so I love that rock. This is actually a rock. I have no idea what it is, but I found it on a beach in Victoria, BC on my honeymoon with my wife, so it's kind of a special rock. Here's some tumbled petrified wood. These petrified wood pieces on the Yellowstone really come out pretty beautiful. And it's amazing just the different colors that come out once you actually tumble them. Here is a tumbled piece of agatized petrified wood. So you can kind of see the difference there between the non-agatized and the agatized when they're polished. This one's not perfect. You know, a lot of the rocks that I've tumbled so far haven't turned out perfect. I haven't quite put the time into it, but they're still cool to me. That's really what matters. This is kind of one of my favorites. This is a piece of banded jasper that I actually found in my very first rockhounding video. So I'll put a link to that up here somewhere, maybe up here by my thumb. But it just turned out really, really beautiful here after it was tumbled. And I just love this piece so much. And on the subject of jasper, here's a couple more really cool pieces of jasper. This one is maybe one of my favorites. It's just got this a really amazing blue and green color to it. And this one, you know, kind of reminds me of picture jasper that you can find up in certain places. It's a fairly large piece, but it's super flat, so smooth. It's so satisfying to just run your fingers across some of these rocks. And here are 2 more pieces of jasper. This one's more of a recent tumble. It didn't quite turn out how I expected, but I still really like it. And then this one is pretty funky. It's got this blue color to it. And I just really like the way this one turned out. It's got these little, it's almost got that sort of Dalmatian jasper in parts of it, so it's kind of fun. And just really, really beautiful. Here is, this is one I actually didn't find. This is a Lake Superior agate that was sent to me by like my first fan mail ever. So if you're watching this, you know who you are, and thank you. It sits out on my house in display. So those are pretty awesome. Here is the first moss agate that I ever had cut open. And you can see the moss in there. It's a really, really beautiful piece, and there's sort of the outside. I was so excited when I found this one. It's one of the first agates that I found that I could tell there was something inside. So pretty exciting. Here's another really cool piece of petrified wood. I just love the shape of this one. The seams of agate running through it are just beautiful to me. Just absolutely stunning. And it took a really, really nice polish, so. This is another piece of agatized petrified wood. But you can see it's much more agate-y than, like, it seems like there's more agate material than there is wood material. It's totally transparent, and it just is so cool looking. I just love these. I found a couple other ones like this that I haven't tumbled yet. But I just love this stuff. Just so beautiful. Here's another cool piece of agatized petrified wood. I think this one was a much more recent tumble, but it's kind of cool to see the difference between there's some nice engine noises in the background for you guys. It's kind of cool to see the difference between the outside and then the inside, which is just beautiful. Couple more things in here. Here is an agate that actually the first agates that I ever cut open with my own tile saw, and I recently tumbled this one. I'm really pleased with the way it turned out, at least this flat side here. Some kids playing in the distance over there. And then some more pieces of jasper. This one is one of the first ones I ever found, actually. And it's just so smooth. And one of the things I remember that first really drew me to jasper was just how smooth it is. And sometimes I just take these out and look at them and kind of run my fingers over them. Maybe that's weird, but can't help myself. One more piece of jasper here. My daughter loves this one. Sometimes I let her take the bowl out and sit on the floor. She's 11 months old, and she just loves to look at the rocks, bang them together, put them back in the bowl and pour them out of the bowl. And she always loves this one. I don't really know why, so it's kind of her rock. And then here's one more tiny little Lake Superior agate that was in that same batch sent to me by one of my fans. So that was really awesome. Okay, so here are some more tumbled pieces. They're totally random order, so I think we're just gonna take a look at some of them. I may not even talk and just kind of let you enjoy them. So here we go. This one is a piece of banded jasper, very similar to the one that I keep out in my bowl, but this one didn't quite make the cut. I still love it though. Here's a really beautiful tumbled piece from the Pryor Mountains. And I believe this is agate. It is indeed transparent. And you can see there's still some cracks in there and some minor imperfections, but it's just stunning. I just love this piece so much. Some really subtle colors going on in there. Here's a little piece of carnelian from the Yellowstone. This was actually in the most recent tumbling batch. Here's a big chunk of petrified wood, which part of the reason I like this piece is because it's got both brown and black and some whiter colors to it, so it just has a little bit more character than, you know, some of the pieces that you can find out there on the Yellowstone. Let's take a look here. This is kind of a neat agate jasper mix. Here are some of the adventuring pieces that I've tumbled so far, and I'm still kind of figuring these guys out. I might, in hindsight, tumble these a little bit longer, but they still came out pretty cool, and I think it'd be neat to eventually just have a whole bowl full of this stuff sitting out somewhere. Here's another piece from the Pryor Mountains. You can see it's just got some really stunning colors going on in there. Some reds and white, and it's just beautiful. This is a piece also from the Pryors. It's called Bubblegum Jasper, I believe, or something like that. It's got a couple different names, but man, this stuff is just so pretty, and you know, I probably should have put it through the first stage a little bit longer, but I really do like the way it turned out. You know, sometimes even if they're not perfect, they're still really beautiful. And here is a really beautiful piece of yellow jasper and agate. This is actually a saw scrap from a piece that you may have seen in one of my videos, but also very pretty. Some of the pieces of petrified wood come out very different from each other after tumbling. Here's one that, you know, they all have such different characters, like they're telling different stories, you know. And this one is definitely one of my favorites. Here's another nice piece of petrified wood for you. Some more petrified wood. More petrified wood. So you can just start to see the diversity that you can find out on the Yellowstone. I always thought this one would kind of make like a cool pendant or something. Let's take a look at some agates now. There's a pretty neat agate. It's got some really beautiful banding going on in there, which hopefully the camera brings it out. Again, not a perfect tumble. It's kind of not what I'm about, at least right now with only one tumbler. Another just sort of little agate nodule. Not a whole lot going on in there, but just the beauty of it is just stunning. Here's some tumbled agate nodule with the host rock still on there. Kind of cool. Here's the other piece of that moss agate that I tumbled. Here's a kind of a funky piece of jasper. I think it's kind of the yellow jasper, but it's just a darker hue of the yellow jasper. But you could I love just the little subtle things that tumbling brings out of these rocks, and that's part of what makes tumbling just so cool, is that you get to see all these things about the rocks that you maybe normally wouldn't have. Here's a little agate. Pretty. Let's see here. What else we got? This is kind of a little bit more of like a milkier agate. Really neat. Let's see. How about some jasper? Beautiful jasper there. Some more, just such variety, such beauty in the jasper. Here's another cool one. This is an earlier find too. I love the different lines on it. Oh, this is a neat one. So, I don't even remember where I found this one. I want to say it was in the priors, but it's just got such cool features, and I believe it's jaspery or chalcedony or agate or something like that, but this one is really cool. Here's a bigger chunk petrified wood. Kind of gives you an idea of, you know, this one's probably would have been tumbled longer. I don't think I did that one, but still turned out kind of cool. Here's a piece that I actually found up in the mountains on the side of a dirt road that I think had some rocks from the Yellowstone on it. But it's got some beautiful bands. Just a really neat piece. Alright, I'll show you a few more here. Let's see. Oh, here, this is a cool one. When I first found this one, I was like, what the heck is it? And I think now it's called a zeolite. It's basically another mineral type that sometimes is found mixed in with agate and things like that. But the green color is what really attracts me to this one, and just the characteristics of what it is. So if you know what this is, if I'm wrong, please let me know. But either way, it's just a beautiful rock, and it turned out pretty awesome. Here's another little agate nodule. Turned out pretty well. Here's a couple cool ones. Another awesome piece of petrified wood. Really like the pattern of the tree rings on this one. Turned out pretty awesome. And I'll take a look at this one too. Another piece of agatized petrified wood, actually. So this one's pretty neat. All right, now I'm gonna get my special bag out of little tiny rocks, with the exception of one big rock, which I don't know why it's in there. But there's some cool, so here's some cool pieces of just red jasper from the Prior Mountains. And you can just kind of see the different details in the jasper, and it's beautiful. I really love this stuff. I love the way it comes out with the shine. This might be my favorite piece of that particular jasper, just with those bands that it has in there. But it's a really cool material to find. Here's kind of a funky, this is one of my earlier agate finds too. You can see there's just some quartz in there and some host rock, but just, you know, these little rocks have a lot of character. And let's see here. Oh, okay, this is one of my favorite finds. This is jasper, and it's a tiny little rock. And this one actually isn't even tumbled. I found it just like this. And I'm not even sure what to make of it. I don't know if there's a specific name for this type of jasper, but it is beautiful. And it's one of my favorite little pieces of jasper, honestly. Okay, so I think that's, okay, we'll end it with this little guy here. Another little agate nodule with some kind of cool colors in there, but just really pretty piece overall. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at those tumbled rocks. I enjoyed sharing in them with you. I know it's not the same as going out for a rock hunting adventure, but it's still pretty cool, and I'm glad to share those guys with you. So big thanks to all of the new subscribers that have come to the channel in the last week. Last week's video just blew up on YouTube, and I don't know why, I don't know how, but I'm super thankful for all of you. Please leave me a comment. You know, if you want more videos like this in the future, leave a thumbs up or leave a comment below so I know what you guys are enjoying. And I'll look forward to going on another adventure with you guys soon.